Hey friends, Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am working in a traveler's notebook insert, and this is all about my coffee adventures. I'm also working with some new product from Kellie Stamps. I have the Shenanigans label set, Shenanigans card set, and also the Shenanigans digital stamp set. That is not an easy word to say multiple times. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly tell you exactly how I am using these products. I've gone ahead in Photoshop and I've extracted out the sippy cup, coffee cup image. I've also extracted out the label image. And I've done that by simply removing the brown background for the label and changing the outline to black. And then for the coffee cup, I changed the outline to black, and then I was able to extract it out and put it into Silhouette and cut it out with my Silhouette machine. I also have created my own background paper with two of the cards. I also am working with a Jen Hadfield paper here. I end up not using it, but I did pull it out of my collection. I don't remember what Jen Hadfield collection that is from, unfortunately. I apologize right off the bat if you hear the lawnmower in the background. My neighbor has decided now is a good time to mow his lawn. So the other thing I am using is the digital stamp set, and you can see that I have gone ahead and stamped the circle adult sippy cup right onto my photo. Okay, so let's get into the process. Before I got going too far, I thought about changing the cream side of this spread to white and using white paper, but I quickly abandoned that because I just don't want to add any more bulk to my page, and quite honestly, I'm fine with the cream and the white. So I'm going to go ahead and do some trimming, and I am going to go ahead and trim out this label. Now, when I was working on the digital elements, I had thought to myself that this label, this tag, would be perfect with this paper if I were to create a slit in the paper and create a hidden pocket. I end up not going that route, but I still think that would be a really cool idea. What I do end up doing is making myself crazy by moving elements on this spread so many times, it's ridiculous. I really need to start working with sketches more. That is a huge lesson I learned in this process. So I have gone ahead and I've started cutting apart the label set. Now this comes as a PDF. As you see, I printed out both the card set and the label set completely just as they came. And it's so awesome to just use something that's already designed and done for you. I love it. Of course, like I said, I took some liberties and I made some modifications. Now, what I would say to you is that feel free to make these digital products work for you, with the exception of making sure you always go back to the seller's page and read their information about what you can and cannot do with their product. Remembering that this is their intellectual property, somebody has taken the time to create and design these digital elements for us to use, and we need to be mindful of that in keeping with whatever their intentions were with the designs. Thankfully, with Kellie Stamps, she is very generous in her designing and making some modifications as far as some color changes for your own personal use is completely fine. I double checked and we're good to go. Okay, so public service announcement over. So here starts my odyssey into changing and moving and changing and moving and changing and moving. I really struggled because I wanted to use this tag, shipping tag, label, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to use it. I kept playing around with it. I loved the idea of putting that die cut that I have created of the coffee cup to give it a little more lift and dimension. But then I really loved the paper being the background for my photo. I also wanted to use these labels that I've cut out, and I fiddle with those and move them around, and it was such a long process. So I really cannot stress sketches. Sketches are our friend. I really need to get better at that. So as you can see, I go back and forth and back and forth. And finally, I go to trusty old washi tape. Always your friend. Every time I find myself with a mental block or struggle, I reach for some washi tape or a stapler, and everything is good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start playing with the washi tape. And then thankfully, from this moment forward, things start to work out. Things start to take shape. So I have this really cool washi tape with the speckles on it, the paint splatters. I wanted to use that, but I started to feel like it might be getting too busy. So I go to one of my favorite tricks with the washi tape is just to throw a piece at the top, piece at the bottom, do some layering, just to add in some more visual interest. And thankfully for this spread, it totally worked. Now looking back, of course, at this video, I see so many things that I did that I'm thinking, oh, that was actually, I really like that. I wish I would have done that. But of course, in the moment, it didn't work out. I go back to this washi over and over again with the paint speckles. I really wanted to use it. I think it's a really cool tape, but it didn't make the cut. So again, I finally am going to abandon that tag, and I've realized that while I love the idea of using these labels, I want to keep the shape of the page. And when I say shape, what I'm talking about is keeping it visually with the lines that the white and yellow part of the paper have created. And by using that skinny label, it helps to continue that look across the page, because not only do I have that with the lined paper and the little tag, or label rather, that I'm going to use, I also have it going with my washi tapes across the tops of the pages. So now I've gone into some actual physical stamps. So this is a total hybrid project where I am going to mix digital with physical stamps, clear stamps. This also is a Kellie Stamp set. It is no longer available in the physical sense. It's called Coffee Loading, but it is available digitally. So I will make sure to link that below. So I've gone ahead and I've just used the coffee selfie, and then I'm going to go ahead with this triple coffee stamp and just stamp that across the bottom. That's going to continue to mirror the effect that I have going with the lines going across the paper to carry your eye vertically across, horizontally across. Why is that so difficult? And I like how it kind of mirrors also that wide strip of washi I have on the other side of the page. Now, of course, looking at this, I'm kind of wondering why I didn't pull that piece up and then make it so that it visually went across from right, or rather left to right. But after all the trouble I was facing with this, I have to just let it go. I was just happy to get this in my book. I had one of those days where I wanted to sit down and be crafty, but I think it was really difficult. I wasn't 100% there. I even struggled with trying to tape this piece into my book. It ends up being a little wonky, a little crooked. But hey, you know what? It's a memory in the book. I'm gonna just leave it. I do some simple trimming, and as I have said multiple times before, and you will continue to hear me say this, perfection is not something I strive for. And this is a prime example. So now I'm just going to go ahead and date stamp this. Now I don't always date stamp my spreads in my books. Sometimes it's mostly because I'm working with a photo that is maybe from a long time ago, and like this moment here, this coffee moment, is a repeated moment in my life. Now here things go astray. I'm doing my journaling and I make a mistake when I write the word cup. Instead of a U, I started doing an A. I don't know what happened there. But as I have said, this whole page was kind of in this mistakes and taking forever, and it is what it is. So I tried trimming out one of those little coffee cups from the Jen Hadfield paper. I thought it was really cute, but it was just way too big. So I have to sit and think about it for a few minutes. And finally, I go back to the card set and I realize that I can just trim out a piece of the yellow stripe and cover up my mistake. Now, is it obvious that there's a yellow stripe on there? Of course it is. When you look at the photos or when you have the physical book, you can completely see that I just covered something up. I did my best to try to make it look intentional, but it's clearly not an intentional part of the spread. But rather than reprinting this page, starting all over, I just needed to embrace the imperfection and move on. Sometimes when we sit down to do our documenting, we have to remind ourselves that it's not necessarily always about putting this perfect memory into a book, but it's just simply about sitting down and having some playtime, to just be creative and have fun. And that's exactly what this book represents for me, my coffee adventure book. And also it's, like I said, this is a memory I have repeatedly. So I made it work. I'm happy with it. Moving on to the next coffee adventure. I love this stamp set. In this particular project, I highlighted the Shenanigans of coffee, but it's a versatile set. There's so many other things you can do with it, and I think you would love it. So you should definitely check it out. And don't forget that if you are going to purchase something from Kellie Stamps, and the link is below, you are able to get 10% off your order of 10% off your order of $15 or more by using my code, which is Kelli with an I, 10. And that again is below for you. So thanks again, friends, for watching. I appreciate you sticking with me and going on another crafty adventure with me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. And then finally, don't forget to hit that little bell so you're getting notifications when new videos are posted. Thanks, friends, and I'll see you next time.